Hello, everyone. Today I have an honor to speak with wonderful two women. One is Jeanette Crowley. She has been called one of the world's purest channels. She's a globally known spiritual teacher and a best-selling author of two books, Eagle and the Condor. It is available also in Polish, and also Soul Body Fusion. And she's supporting humans' spiritual awakening. And she's coming to Poland in June, and that is why we are speaking now. And Eva Foley, who is also a worldwide known author of her three books, she has invited Jeanette to Poland for the first time 20 years ago. Eva, could you please say something about this incredible meeting that you had with Jeanette Crowley and why you decided to invite her to Poland?
The meeting was really incredible. It was totally guided by angels. And it was the year 2005. I was in Denver, Colorado, doing a business seminar, and someone mentioned the name and Jeanette Crowley in Peru, and I was planning a trip to Peru at the time. So I called her. We met. We had our first hug. And we continued hugging for the next 20 years. I invited Jeanette to come to Poland. Actually, sorry, it was 2004 in the fall. I invited Jeanette to come to Poland. She said yes, kindly. And next year, 2005, she came to Warsaw, Poland for the first time. So we're celebrating this year 20 years of her incredible work and her beautiful, amazing input into consciousness in our country, in Poland. On the planet, she's been around a little while longer. And 20 years, once or twice a year, during difficult COVID times, we would meet on Zoom. And Jeanette agreed to come to Poland one more time. I invite you to listen to incredible conversation of two amazing human beings, my teachers and my mentors, Kasia and Jeanette. I, of course, will be joining all events in Warsaw. I will be there in person. So if you want to come and hug and laugh and smile and cry, we'll be doing book signing. We'll be learning together. It will be a wonderful, amazing, transformational time. The hall is very big. We can contain all of you. If you get a calling to be with us and a beautiful group of conscious earth angels, just come. I'm so much looking forward to seeing you. And for now, enjoy the conversation.
Thank you, Eva, for the beautiful introduction. And welcome, Jeanette. I am so happy that you are here and you can share your knowledge with the Polish people, but also with everyone, because it is in English and everyone can understand us who speaks English as well. Jeanette, you are coming to Poland for this solstice time in June. And could you please tell us what is happening energetically in the world right now? We can see a lot of chaos in politics, in economy, in ecology. So please tell us from the bigger perspective, from the spiritual planes, what is happening now?
Okay, and I do have the opportunity to travel all around the world because my two books are published in 13 different languages. So I guess we would say the heat is on. 1989 was this harmonic convergence, and it imprinted this higher consciousness onto Earth, but it was just an imprint. We weren't materializing it yet. And now, especially since 2012, it's as if we are materializing higher and higher levels of power, wisdom, love, energy. So when energy comes in, it comes in as heat. And so the heat disrupts everything. So everything is heating up. And the light and the heat coming in, shows the shadows and the darkness that were always here, but we couldn't see them. So it seems like we're in a worse place than ever before. And I know that's the feeling, but what's happening really is the darkness that's been hiding is now illuminated in these higher frequencies. So we see them, and our opportunity is to address the darkness from the place of light rather than the place of fear where we've been. So probably we're all feeling that the traumas that we've had in this life and all our past lives are coming up. And the four things, there's the strongest things that are coming up. One is fear. And, it has many faces and they're all ugly. Then there's anger. So we're angry. It's what's happening. We're finding anger in ourselves that we haven't looked at. Then there is helplessness. So the fear and the anger, we don't know what to do. So we feel helpless. And the fourth thing that's coming up is grief. So if people are feeling all this, know that it's not because you've messed up and all the spiritual growth and all the books you've read have been a waste of time. No, it's that we are kind of opening Pandora's box that's been shut. So all this can be cleared in the higher frequencies, purification. So that's kind of a big picture of what's happening. And I just remind people, it's not the worst time. It's not bad what's happening. It's a clearing.
You always talk about global awakening in your teachings. Could you please say something more about it? What is awakening actually?
Wow, that's a great question. Awakening for most of us first is opening up to gifts and interconnectedness that we had never seen before. So it first starts with opening up our gifts, our own knowing, our own wisdom, our own love. So as that opens up, there begins to be kind of an activation sequence that happens, like a chemical activation. And so as we wake up, it begins to touch others and it gets more and more awakening. And that begins to change all the people who don't care about awakening, who are just trying to survive. So it's this quantum level of light that's bursting forth and it can't be stopped. And it's inviting the darkness and the shadows up. So your personal awakening, all of our personal awakening has a much more global span than we could ever realize. And I'm sure people are feeling that.
Yes, many people are feeling that, but as well, all these emotions that you told. Yes, but as I can see, we are all in a very huge spiritual transformation, and we are experiencing this in collective level. So I'm so glad that we have such teachers like you who can guide us a little bit through all these transformations and help us just to be clear and just to be guided. And you're coming to Poland and you will teach 3 days of wonderful workshops. So let's talk about this. the first workshop will take place on Thursday, June 19th, and the title is Finding Peace in Changing Times. I think it's very important. So could you please tell us more about this?
So all of my workshops, I have an outline, but they're channeled. I feel the energies that are available, that are opening up. I feel who's in the room. And I really work as a cosmic orchestra conductor shaman. So we pull in the greatest possibilities. So I don't ever use a script. But so that first night, really finding peace in changing times, my goal is to explain what's happening now. And I will, channel what that is, but then help people stabilize themselves and move out of fear, anger, and grief into, wow, I've got this. I can handle it. So activating our own power and resilience and ability. We can meet this. We decided to be born now. So that's going to be really an introduction. I'll bring a lot of beautiful energies in and begin to help each person activate their own higher energy. So that's what the evening will be. And then we move into the next 2 full day workshops.
Yes, and what is very interesting that you are coming on a special day, which is summer solstice. And before you talk about the workshop, I just want to ask you about the significance of this day, the special day during the whole year. What is the significance of the summer solstice when the sun is the highest in the North Hemisphere?
Since I was a child, I've always believed that this is the most powerful day of the year because it's as if the sun is aligned in the highest and the great central sun and the divine sun, that we can just stand in this alignment and goes right through our bodies into the warm earth. So this solstice will be about activations and initiations and really physical changes for us. So we open our arms and really receive and embody. So the workshop's going to be a lot about the alchemy of personal transformation. Yes, it's emotional. Yes, it's spiritual, but it's also alchemically physical. And our bodies need to be prepared for the light we're asking for. So kind of the solstice day and the next day when we're doing soul body fusion, those 2 days really work together. But the solstice is, because it's a portal for Earth and the sun, the energies that day are stronger than any other day in the year. And it calls for alignment and it cleans out a lot of stuff that we weren't able to clean out without the bright light of the solstice. So it's fun, it's energetic, and it's very much about clearing and illuminating.
Great. I can't wait. And also I would like to mention that you are a shaman. You are also a grandmother recognized from the Native American tradition. So it is amazing to experience all the activations and initiation from you, from a real shaman.
I am actually trained not by living teachers. My energy actually comes through the mountains and the sun. I was activated by a mountain in the Andes in Peru and then recognized by Native Americans who had been watching me for years and came during COVID and said, it's time to recognize you as a grandmother, and I'm invited into these ceremonies. So I thank heavens I don't have to drum because I don't have any of those skills, but I'm I'm a shaman without a drum or rattles because I can help people connect to the earth energies, but also the high energies of light. So just wanted to say that because people expect that I wear all these medallions and have drums and do chants. I didn't get those teachings. I just got the energy.
Like a contemporary shaman. And the third day, it will be about soul body fusion. And I'm also a soul body fusion teacher. So it is amazing how this kind of practice helped me to connect with my soul. Could you please say something more about what soul body fusion is actually and why is it so important nowadays?
You know, I think most of us don't even know that we're not aligned with our soul. You know, we pray, we go to church, but we don't live in the power and the truth of our soul. And I didn't know I was misaligned until all of a sudden I got aligned and I thought, this isn't even the me I used to know. So what we'll do in soul body fusion is really heighten the energies, first ground to the earth, and then increase the energies in our body so that we can hold more of the spiritual, divine grace that's always been there, but it seems to have been above our heads. I keep doing this because it's really first about bringing these high frequencies into our body, and our body changes. Sometimes people get fevers or hot or feel sick from their first soul body fusions because there was such a difference in frequencies. And then we grounded into earth. And that's when, for me, and I know for you, Kasha, your life begins to change because you're here and you're whole and your intuition is clear and the synchronicity that happens and your knowing is cleaner and your emotions get cleaner. You're no longer processing through your head. You're no longer living so much in the past. Oh, I do that because my mom made me do that. It's a huge clearing, reset, and rebalancing at a much higher, fuller level. Kasha, when we do this together and when we do it in the energies of the solstice, I, who do soul body fusion several times a day, I change. This is bigger than we've ever done before. Why? Because we can.
This is so amazing to walk the path of the soul. And it is so different than the path of the ego or mind. So what I can feel during soul body fusion is that I hear my soul better. My intuition is stronger. I make my decisions through my heart, not through my conditioned mind. And yeah, I'm more in love, and I'm more in love with the life I'm leading. So it is multidimensional change.
And can I add to that? It's often healing because when we get aligned with our power, all those places that we've had either emotional, psychological, or physical issues, they begin to clear up. You know, I don't go and say tell the world we can heal you, but I have seen amazing healings in myself and others because we're whole.
Yes, healing usually is a side effect of soul body fusion.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, and I also would like to say that it is so much different than online, that we can meet you in person. And that is why we are speaking today, to invite so many people that they can come and meet you, feel your energy. And you can also tell us what is the power of the practice when you are all together in one room, in person. Could you just say a few things about that?
I think when we're together in one room, it's like the cork pops off of a champagne bottle and the bubbles are everywhere. The golden light is everywhere. When we're physically together, each person's breakthrough gets communicated to the soul of the other, and you don't have to do that part because the person next to you did. You do this part and somebody else does this part. You leave transformed, but you only had to do your part, saw your visions, was in your body. So it's always more magnificent. And I keep teaching physically because there is nothing like gathering together, especially in these power days around the solstice.
Mm. The power of being together and physically, and also the power of meditation that we can all do together, and the practice of soul body fusion together. So what I can say from my side, for me, these are quantum transformations. And for me, it is so important that we also meet physically in the times of online only, and all the things that we just do online, that we can come, gather, and be together for the higher purpose, which is peace and love and unity in the world.
And can I say, coming to Poland, because I've traveled to 80 or 90 countries, Poland holds such heart energy. You know, your history hasn't been easy. Your times have not been easy. But the purity and the brightness of the Polish hearts brings tears to my eyes every time.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are magnificent beings, and the awakening of the planet is right in your abilities because you've lived in heart, light, and love more than so much of the rest of the world.
Mm. Thank you so much. So we invite all of you who are watching this video for 3-day workshops in Poland with Jeanette Crowley, worldwide known author and shaman and spiritual teacher. And we meet in June from 19th till 21, 3 days around summer solstice in Warsaw. Everybody is welcomed. You don't have to know soul body fusion. You don't have to practice any meditation. Everybody is ready to awaken just right now. And yes, and you are welcomed. So we meet in June, I hope. Thank you for your time and for your sharings.
See you in June.
See you.